Welcome back to the Dinar community channel. You've waited years, maybe even decades, for this moment, but what really happens when you walk into a real exchange center to redeem your IQD or VND? One wrong move could cost you millions. Here's what no one tells you, until now. Inside a real exchange center, the atmosphere is unlike anything most people have ever experienced. It's not just a currency counter or a booth tucked into the corner of an airport. When it comes to exchanging currencies, especially in the context of something as monumental as the revaluation of the Iraqi Dinar (IQD) or Vietnamese Dong (VND), a real exchange center becomes a highly secure, high-stakes environment where precision, verification, and confidentiality reign supreme. This is not a casual walk-in experience. It's a process, one that requires preparation, clarity, and awareness of each critical step involved. When you first approach an official exchange center, whether it's a private redemption location, a designated branch of a major financial institution like Chase or Wells Fargo, or a government-regulated currency redemption facility, the process starts before you even walk in. The moment your appointment is scheduled, you're entered into a verification system. Background checks, financial profiles, and cross-referenced identification are all triggered in the back-end systems. This isn't paranoia, it's protocol. With millions, and in some cases billions, of revalued currency units involved, compliance with anti-money laundering (AML) and Know Your Customer (KYC) laws is mandatory. When you arrive at the center, don't expect a big glowing sign outside or a flashy welcome area. Real exchange centers often operate out of secured, discreet locations. Security personnel may greet you at the door, checking appointment confirmations and photo IDs before you're even allowed to step foot into the facility. Surveillance is active at all times, inside and outside the premises. Most centers operate under tight confidentiality protocols, so phones, recording devices, and even bags may be restricted or subject to inspection. This isn't about intimidation, it's about securing sensitive transactions and protecting both the client and the institution. Once inside, you're led to a private exchange room, not a public counter. These rooms are designed for one-on-one sessions between you and an authorized exchange officer. These professionals are not just clerks, they are financial specialists trained in high-value transactions, verification of foreign currency, and compliance oversight. They're calm, methodical, and discreet. Their role is not only to exchange your currency but to ensure that everything about your redemption process is legitimate and properly documented. Your currency is counted, verified, and authenticated using specialized equipment. This includes ultraviolet scanners, magnetic ink detectors, and serial number logging systems. Each note is examined, counterfeit detection is taken seriously, and any anomaly may delay or disrupt your transaction. This is why it's critical to know the source of your currency. Purchasing IQD or VND from non-licensed dealers, online forums, or anonymous sellers can result in issues during verification. Exchange centers work only with legitimate, trackable currency. If there's any question of authenticity, you may be asked for proof of purchase or origin. Once the currency is validated, the real conversation begins: how do you want to proceed with your exchange? There are typically two types of options offered: public exchange rates and private contract rates. Public rates are what you'd find on the Forex market or at a traditional bank branch. Contract rates, however, are privately negotiated rates available only under certain conditions, often tied to NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, and long-term commitments involving structured financial products or asset-backed platforms. These are not automatically offered, you must meet criteria, and not all clients qualify. If you are offered a contract rate, expect a formal presentation. You'll be walked through the conditions attached, everything from holding periods, tax implications, payout structures, and post-exchange financial compliance. Some contracts require signing legally binding agreements to prevent public disclosure, hence the NDA. These NDAs are enforceable and are not to be taken lightly. Violating the terms can result in clawbacks or forfeiture of funds. This may sound extreme, but again, these rates are not public knowledge and are offered under highly controlled financial frameworks. The exchange center will typically present you with a breakdown of your total redemption amount, applicable fees if any, tax advisories, and payout options. Some clients choose to deposit their funds directly into structured trusts, offshore accounts, or tiered interest-bearing vehicles. Others opt for immediate wire transfers to their domestic bank accounts. Whatever the method, a compliance officer is usually present to ensure that the payout structure complies with local and international financial laws. At this point, many clients assume they'll walk out with cash in hand, but that's rarely the case. Most high-value currency exchanges result in wire transfers, managed disbursements, or delayed access funds through financial instruments. Large amounts of physical cash are rarely, if ever, distributed at an exchange center for security reasons. Instead, you're given verified confirmation slips, transactional ledgers, and scheduled deposit timelines. Depending on the size of your redemption, a wealth advisor may be brought in to guide you through next steps. Wealth managers often sit in on high-level exchanges. Their role is to help you transition from a currency holder to a financially empowered individual with a strategy. They'll discuss diversification, tax minimization strategies, estate planning, and asset protection. If you're participating in a high-value redemption, don't be surprised if you're introduced to exclusive investment opportunities, things not available to the general public, such as sovereign wealth fund access, real estate portfolios, or philanthropic trusts. At this level, privacy becomes even more important. The center may offer to help you establish holding companies, blind trusts, or family offices. This is not overkill, it's preparation. Once funds hit your account, you'll attract attention from advisors, investors, distant relatives, or even bad actors. A real exchange center prepares you for the aftermath, not just the moment. This is about managing the wealth you've waited years, or even decades, to realize. Another critical part of the process is the debrief. Before you leave, an officer will go over everything that occurred in your appointment. They'll reconfirm the amount exchanged, the method of payout, and any contracts signed. You'll be provided with contact information in case of discrepancies or follow-up questions. You may also be asked to complete confidentiality acknowledgments to ensure no part of the transaction is shared publicly. If you're participating in a group exchange, such as one facilitated by a currency community or vetted intermediary, your appointment may be grouped with others, though transactions are still handled individually. These groups often have pre-arranged rates, and sometimes their own private locations and handling agents. If you're part of one, make sure you understand the terms of the arrangement. Group exchanges can offer higher rates, but they may also come with additional commitments or fee structures. Security doesn't end at the door. You'll likely be escorted out by staff or security, especially if you're carrying sensitive documents. Once outside, many clients are advised not to return to their normal routines immediately. Some exchange centers recommend taking a short break, either to travel, meet with legal advisors, or simply distance themselves from public activity for a few days. This cool-off period is not mandatory but encouraged for safety and emotional balance. A common mistake people make is underestimating how emotionally intense the process is. For many, this is a once-in-a-lifetime event. Years of waiting, researching, and hoping come to a head in a single appointment. It's important to be calm, well-rested, and mentally prepared. Bring only what's necessary, your currency, your ID, and any documentation you were instructed to bring. Leave everything else behind. Clutter leads to confusion. Confusion leads to mistakes. If you haven't yet made your appointment, get organized now. Ensure your currency is sorted, counted, and well documented. Have multiple forms of ID, a proof of purchase if possible, and clarity on what you want. Do you want a public rate? Are you pursuing a contract rate? Will you accept payout in tranches or full disbursement? Will you take your funds in USD or convert to another asset class? These aren't questions you want to figure out on the spot. One final but vital aspect: taxes. Every legitimate exchange center will inform you that they do not offer legal or tax advice, but they will strongly recommend you consult with a professional immediately after your exchange. Depending on your jurisdiction, you may owe capital gains tax, ordinary income tax, or special financial transaction taxes. A tax professional familiar with high-value redemptions and foreign currency exchange law is critical. Don't go to a general accountant, find someone who has handled large foreign currency events before. The exchange center doesn't just facilitate your redemption, they also protect the system. Their job is to prevent illegal activity, maintain financial stability, and ensure that every participant plays by the rules. In doing so, they offer a smooth, protected environment for wealth transfer. But the responsibility doesn't end with them, it continues with you. There's no denying the excitement. For many, this is the financial turning point of a lifetime. But don't let excitement cloud your judgment. Move with discipline. Stay focused. Keep your expectations realistic and your mind sharp. The real winners in this process are not those who chase the highest rate, they're the ones who plan, prepare, and protect what they receive. The moment you walk into a real exchange center, you're stepping into a new world. One where opportunity meets structure. One where financial dreams become real numbers. And one where how you handle yourself matters just as much as how much currency you hold. So go in ready, go in educated, and come out empowered. Like and subscribe for more videos.